Okay, real quick, we're gonna do a Uriah Heep. Sorry, I have Oblivion playing in the background. It's like pretty tedious. Um, we're gonna do. I'm following up right after I did the Rolling Stones top 10, my first Rolling Stones related video. So with this same format of me on my couch looking at my face for too long, I'll do the Uriah Heep top 10, another favorite band from mainly from the 70s, Byron era, um, early 70s. Ken Hensley was kind of left in the 80s. It still tours, mostly in Europe, hardly ever in the US. The only member still alive is Mick Box. But most people remember Uriah Heep as sort of the David Byron era, even though Ken Hensley sang some of their more famous songs and played acoustic guitar doing it, and it was kind of a good jam. Um, so top 10, number 10 is let's say 10 and 9 are kind of almost like a tie, but they're also because the songs are so different. But for the sake of expediency, okay, maybe I'll give 10 a tie. I'll give you a bonus of 11. 10 is a tie between Gypsy and Stealin'. I think Gypsy and Stealin' are relatively interchangeable, and they're very long songs. They're Gypsy is at least, and they're about sort of banditry. I don't know. It's hard to explain. They're about like ribald banditry on farms in England in the Middle Ages, or sometime, anytime, I guess. Could have been 1600s. I don't know. But it's they're sort of these are songs that kind of add a pep in your step a little. They're not the songs you'd play around every type of person, but they're very funny. They're kind of mirthful. They're funny, but it's tongue in cheek enough that not everyone will even pick up on it. Um, Coy, and then sonically it just sort of hits you. It's sort of heavy. It's sort of alcoholic drudgery is sort of implied. A little bit of a coke bump here or there might suit your fancy. I think those two songs really round out the sort of the deep cut, not the deep cuts, but they sort of round out the muscle factor in Uriah Heep's albums, if that makes a load of sense. Anyway, so maybe I'll put them in 9 because they're pretty good. And 10, I think I'll move 9 to 10. I think, what was it? Easy Living. I like listening to it, but the song title, it's like Lazy by Deep Purple. It's Easy Living. It's just something off-putting about it. When I hear it on the radio, I love it, but like not going to be very high on the list. And but 10 is still pretty good. So Easy Living is 10. If I can think of another song is better, maybe. Number 8 on the list is Return to Fantasy. A very, very endearing kind of crooner ish, aside, not super like a lot of the other songs, but still very Uriah Heep. And it's got this sort of imploration. It implores some sort of, like you said, return to fantasy, but it's a song that, not to wax too lyrical about it, but it's a song that sort of excites wonder without really providing a setting for that wonder or a vista for that wonder. It's wondrous, but it's sort of logically contained and sort of dry. And that's probably why it's not higher on the list. However, I think that the moody lyricism is very personal and super relatable because of that, by dint of it. And so that's 8. Yeah, it's Return to Fantasy. Number 9 would probably be Come On Melinda. Um, Sorry, not number 9. Number 7 would be Come On Melinda. It's just a very well done song. I don't love it, but it's a very charming, sort of complex song that doesn't really land, but it just doesn't really it doesn't really sink either. It's very like it's excellent. It's like the perfect filler song, and I just kind of admire the structural sort of power it has. Come on, Melinda. It's not bad. It's just not exceptional, but it's so good at what it does that I love it. It's almost sardonic, but I really appreciate it. I'm gonna listen to it after this actually, the first one, because it's a very unusual song. It's really complex. Come on, Melinda. 7, right? Okay, we're running out. 6 would be Magician's Birthday. No, I think it's, yeah, Magician's Birthday. And then, which is a long song. It kind of fills up the album a little too much. I think it's on the B side of the eponymous Magician's Birthday album, which does great album art. It has my favorite album art. It's not my favorite album, but that title track is a kind of a powerhouse in its own right. However, it's really kind of subdued compared to a lot of their other longer songs. It's rather um, jingly and sort of reminds me of like something you'd see in like a cartoon. It's very like silly, and it kind of repeats itself in a sort of a trippy sort of ambient way. I think it's basically really a birthday song, and I like it because it's the best birthday song I've ever heard. It's about 10 minutes, and it just, if you listen to it, which I really recommend you check out. But if you don't, you're lost. But if you do listen to Magician's Birthday, you'll know what I mean. It's like the perfect birthday song, and it just sort of cycles. I should listen to it on my half birthday on the 16th. Be kind of fun. What's more like a magician's birthday than a real life half birthday? Half birthday is kind of like a magician's birthday. It's bullshit. They're both bullshit. Anyway, number 5. I would say Rain. Let's say Rain tied with Circle of Hands, perhaps, because they're both sort of the same mood. Circle of Hands is probably more melodic with the superior lyrics, but then Rain is just kind of, the singer kind of hits the right note, and it's a powerful feeling. The sound in his voice is really strong, and they're both obviously about loneliness. Um, Loneliness that sort of ends and fades into happiness, or sorry, fun, friendly happiness. So that's number 5. Number 4 would be July Morning. I think this is another like powerhouse song. It's about 10 minutes long. It's a little like onerous sometimes because it's so long, but it's got a very intense tone, and the phrasing is relatively complex. There's a lot of sort of moving parts for the whole 10 minutes. It reminds me somewhat of Deep Purple's Child in Time. I think it's kind of like their competition with Child in Time. It feels like it's grand in its ambition. It scales out very well in a like a coliseum setting, right? It's an anthem, but it's also, it kind of fills out the set. So you play that, and it's like a jam, and it kind of fills out the set, and so it's a good to have in your back pocket if you're a musician. I mean, especially if people want you to play that song, it's a really, it's like Freebird or something. It really works wonders. So that's number 4, or was it 5? Maybe, I don't know. Number 3 is well, I'll do 3, I think, because I think we're about there anyway. The third one is Lady in Black. Lady in Black is a very like charming. I don't want to say charming, but it's a very like giddy sort of interpretation of a dark theme, which is a mysterious woman is kind of like is infantilizing you, and you pursue her, and she ends up being a witch. Lady in Black is like the song of about a temptress, but it's very giddy, and I wouldn't really call it charming. Some of the other stuff I would call charming, but it's more like sort of like it scratches an itch you didn't expect. It's soothing, it's unexpected, but it's a song that's sort of about expectations being met, but then immediately they fall short in the next segment. It's so Lady in Black is a song. It's not really about love, but it's about the pursuit of something unusual that approximates love, and that's the kind of especially for adolescent boys, it's something that like isn't really touched upon these days, as much in music. And I think the sort of the medieval fantasy that pervades that song and defines it is was really what makes it so high on the list. It's a little nerdy, but I do think there's something alluring about the whole dark woman and the shadows, despite it being mythical or majestical or whatever, both. The next one on the list is sort of like the male counterpart. Actually, it's probably a better song in all its structure, but it's not it's not an interchange. But it's still kind of interchangeable, and it's only like it's hard. It's kind of hard to distinguish sometimes. This song is "The Wizard." The Wizard is a really good song. It's a song that kind of punches above its weight. It's because the lyrics sort of detail events that are pretty mundane, but then they just sort of are arranged to display this sort of magnificent, interaction with like a mysterious wanderer who tells all these profound tales and has this deep-seated power. The Wizard is the number 2 song on my Uriah Heep list because I think it really encapsulates everything about the adventurousness of 70s Uriah Heep and the spirit of their music. Lady in Black does so to a lesser extent, but I think they're neck and neck, have the same sort of attribution. Number 1 on my list, as you can imagine, is Sunrise from Demons and Wizards album, I believe. You can check me on that. I could be off. It might be on Salisbury, actually. I know it's not on Very Heavy, Very Humble, but it might be on Salisbury. Pretty sure it's on Demons and Wizards, though. And probably not Magician's Birthday. Anyway, Sunrise, that's a song I love. I love it so much that I'll listen to the YouTube video version where they're performing live at the Budokan. And I think it's an excellent David Byron performance, probably his best. It sort of showcases the energetic passion and vitality the band had in its prime, and how they sort of had this sort of message of glory and instilling kind of valor in their fan base, which is admittedly a lot of young men. But it was so unbridled in ambition that you kind of felt like nothing could really ever attain such heights. The sunrise in you, my sword is gonna be my pen. It's a very captivating song, and it's also a very memorable song, and it tops this list because it's the most memorable, the most captivating, and hopefully the most immortal. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't listen to Uriah Heep these days. Even if it is like there's bands that people listen to more now that I think have less merit from this period, from this specific period. But who am I to decide what 70s dude rock people nostalgia is about? I mean, half the people who listen to this kind of music probably didn't even grow up in the 70s. Whatever. It's like it's all curated by the algorithm, I guess. But Uriah Heep, top 10. There it is. Well and done. 15 minutes in. I'll try to recount. It was going backwards. It was Sunrise. Then it was the Wizard. Then it was Lady in Black. Then it was not Magician's Birthday. Or maybe I missed 4 and 5. I don't know. I think I did do Magician's Birthday. And then it was Circle of Hands tied with. So I give you 12 total. It seems like, or maybe just 11. I don't know. Circle of Hands tied with Rain. 2 separate songs, but they have a same mood, weightiness, and mood. So check them out. I don't know. I think number 5 was like Come Away Melinda, or Magician's Birthday, and then Come Away Melinda, and then Easy Living, and then another tie with Gypsy and July Morning was number 4. That's right. July Morning was number 4. Anyway, the end, and then number 10 was Easy Living tied with, not Easy Living. That was 9. Number 10 was a tie with Gypsy and Stealin'. And Gypsy was off very heavy, very humble, and Stealin' was off the one album with their portraits, the red album that has their portraits on it. I forget the name exactly, but it wasn't Salisbury with a tank. It wasn't Magician's Birthday or Demons and Wizards, which has the same artist doing the album artwork. It's kind of looks like Henry Darger. Anyway, 17 minutes in, it's pretty good. Uriah Heep's classic band. It's one of my top 10 bands for sure. Up there with UFO, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Zeppelin, probably my all-time favorite forever. Maiden. Although, British, new wave of British heavy metal, right? Doesn't get any better than that. But yeah, aside from Pentagram and Saxon, and some more stuff I can name, pretty sure Uriah Heep is one of my favorite bands ever. And that top 10 list is those are my top go-to songs I'd recommend to anybody. Now, the next ones in the top 20, those are more, might not recommend them just to anyone, but I certainly wouldn't avoid recommending them. All right, 18 minutes. We went a little over time. It's easy to go over time talking about things you love. And there's not a lot of things I love more than music. All right, 18. It's too much. Peace out. I'll try to do another one right now on UFO. Another underrated band. Oh, Scorpions. I'll do maybe do Scorpions if not UFO. The brothers are actually the Scorpion brother. The Scorpions rhythm guitarist brother is the lead guitarist in UFO. So they're associated in ways you wouldn't expect. Ciao.